Jessica home for the entrance of the gladiators and the entrance of the judge.
Thank you, Peter.
Before we see the dogs enter the ring, again, it's my pleasure on behalf of the Crufts committee to introduce the judge. Today's judge started in dogs with Great Danes and Belgian Shepherd dogs. He first awarded CCs in 1980 and is now approved to award CCs in over 57 breeds across the working, pastoral, terrier and utility groups, as well as being approved to judge best in show. He's no stranger to the big ring here at Crufts, as many of you will recall that he judged the working group at last year's Crufts. Ladies and gentlemen, will you give a warm welcome to Mr. Jeff Luscott.
So here we see the judge for the Pastoral Group 2013 entering the ring. This is Jeff Luscott.
Being escorted into the ring by Anne MacDonald, the Vice Chairman of the
taking his
Crufts
position
Committee.
on the green carpet to judge the group for us. Now what we're going to see first of all is a lap of honour from the Catalan Sheepdog winner of the AV Imported Register. You may remember the Imported Register is a register for dogs that are still under development in the UK. Not sufficient bloodlines or numbers yet to warrant entry onto the breed register, but nonetheless given the opportunity to show here at Crufts.
Scheduled classes or any variety imported register classes on. These are for classes are for the developing breeds that have an interim breed
Waiting in the wings before he comes out.
and as such they are unable to compete in the group.
The Catalan Sheepdog growing in popularity. They came in just a few years ago, but breeders had new imports bringing new bloodlines to give diversity and proving to be very popular.
The Catalan Sheepdog.
So here it comes, this one, Irish champion, my Despinivasa to Starwell, 6 years old this bitch, owned by Angie and Trevor Fields End, handled in the ring by Tony Westcott Smith, and a lovely lap of honour for them.
I think this one is an import from Spain.
So now we wait for the dogs for the Pastoral Group to enter the ring, being led in by the Anatolian Shepherd Dog.
So here we have our breed winners, the first of them, the Anatolian Shepherd Dog.
The Australian Cattle Dog.
Coming in second, the Australian Cattle Dog.
The Australian Shepherd.
And here's the very popular Australian Shepherd, growing in popularity in the country.
The flowing coat of the bearded Collie.
The Laekenois.
Now this is the Belgian Shepherd Dog Laekenois. Of course the Groenendael should have come in first, but it's as yet missing. We hope it'll join us later. The Belgian Shepherd Dog Malinois.
And now the Tervueren, distinguished by its golden coat.
Ah, there'll be a roar of applause for the Border Collie, one of the most popular dogs in this group.
And here comes the Briard, the French herding dog.
The Rough Collie.
Beautiful Blue Merle Rough Collie.
The Smooth Collie.
And here comes the Smooth, this one a tricolour.
The Estrela Mountain Dog.
And we have the Estrela Mountain Dog, only just made it to the ring in time.
The Finnish Lapphund.
And the same goes for the Finnish Lapphund.
Expect a big cry next, Jessica, because we've got
German Shepherd Dog.
the German Shepherd. Very famous dog at his retirement show.
Next, the Hungarian Puli.
Very different stride.
The Komondor.
And the spectacular dreadlocks of the Komondor.
A heavy burden to carry.
The Lancashire Heeler.
Here comes the little Lancashire Heeler, a black and tan. I think actually it's a liver and tan.
The Maremma Sheepdog.
The beautiful clean lines of the Maremma Sheepdog.
The Norwegian Bullhund.
Here comes the Norwegian farm dog, the Norwegian Bullhund.
And there'll be another big round of applause now.
The Old English Sheepdog.
The Old English Sheepdog.
The Polish Lowland Sheepdog.
Here's a cobbier version, the Polish Lowland Sheepdog.
The Pyrenean Mountain Dog.
The noble Pyrenean Mountain Dog.
The Pyrenean Sheepdog.
Also from the Pyrenees, it's the Pyrenean Sheepdog, light and nimble.
The Samoyed.
Spitz type, the gleaming white coat of the Samoyed.
The Shetland Sheepdog.
Ah, here's the light, lithe movement of the Blue Merle Shetland Sheepdog.
The Swedish Valhund.
The little Swedish Valhund.
The Welsh Cardigan. Welsh
Ye-
Cardigan.
And it's the first of the corgis, it's the Cardigan.
I quite like the Cordigan.
And finally, the Welsh.
And the last of our pastoral dogs, the Welsh Corgi, Pembroke.
That completes all the dogs in this group, so I will now hand over to my colleagues Graham Hill and Jonathan Daltrey for further commentary. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will arrive at the seventh and final group to be judged. After 4 days
So Jeff Luscott going to take a look at his best of breed winners. He's seen them move across the ring for the first time. Now's his chance to take a look at their outlines against his mental template of those breed standards.
take part in the best in show competition later this evening. This group
Moving down the line with him, the Australian Shepherd. Beautiful bearded collie.
presented in the ring tonight. The finalists of
We're still missing the Groenendael. Hopefully it'll make it to the ring in time.
The Tervueren there with its fawn gold coat, Blue Merle Collie, the tricolour smooth Collie,
for herding and or protecting flocks of sheep.
Finnish Lapphund, and there's the impressive German Shepherd and the Hungarian Puli.
Herding dogs have been
Little Lancashire Heeler not being remotely outdone by his neighbours. Whizzing down the line there. And the Sammy smiling as always. And the Corgis bringing up the rear.
following Mr. Hussell's initial look over each of the breeds present. Moves to his first breed, here at the Pastoral group, the Anatolian Shepherd Dog. The breed was judged today by Mr. Keith Baldwin. There's a breed entry of 16, and Mr. Baldwin found his best to breed in this male, 1-7.
So the first of our best of breed winners, the Anatolian Shepherd Dog, Philo Kangal du Boni Blue Flag. This one's come from the Czech Republic to be shown here, owned by Hilubek Lukas and shown in the ring by Kostova Lenka.
As you can see here, he's a tall dog of mastiff type. He must present an awesome sight to predators, whether they're wolves or men.
And this tall Turkish dog, used as a flock guard, have to be very hardy to survive all through the winter, living outside in a nomadic life. Strong dogs,
Very independent of nature, aren't they?
and a dense coat to give them protection. May carry the tail just like this.
Best of breed Anatolian Shepherd Dog 17695.
The Australian cattle dogs today were judged by Kimberly Jepson. Kimberly has an entry of 22, and her selection of the best...
This is an Australian cattle dog. This one, Taiborki T-Rex, fantastic name. Owned by Rebecca Kay, who also handles in the ring, and bred this one too.
...was originally developed for driving cattle over very long distances, often across very, very rough terrain. The makeup of the Australian cattle dog is vague. It's muted that the dingo...
And this one is a blue mottle. They also come in red speckle as well. But they're very sharp dogs. They're sharp, agile, and you wouldn't go into a farmyard where one of these was guarding, I can tell you. Strong and athletic.
The breed is often nicknamed the red heeler and blue heeler. 17719, the Australian cattle dog.
The next breed received by Mr. Lusser is the Australian
Champion Allmark 5th Avenue is a Blue Merle Australian Shepherd dog. This one owned by Robert Harlow and Neil Allen, shown by Angie Allen in the ring.
breed, number 17727. Surprisingly enough, the Australian Shepherd does not originate in Australia.
And this is a breed which is growing in popularity. I watched the judging today. Spectacular. The dog winner was last year's best of breed from Germany. They've come from all over Europe to compete, but it's a UK bitch which is best of breed, and a very spectacular one.
Balanced and free moving. You can really see how this would be a dog that could work all day herding livestock.
Come in a variety of attractive colours. Beautiful.
That's the best of breed Australian Shepherd, 17727.
Next for our judge, Jeff Muscott, to examine is the bearded collie. Bearded collies have the second equal largest entry in
The bearded collie now. This one, Bradderbrook Voyager at Kitesover, owned by Carolyn Boddington from Henley-on-Thames, handled in the ring as well, bred by Miss Una Cornthwaite.
the dog, 17894, selected.
And winning her first challenge certificate today, so that's the first time it's won the top award. So it's a marvellous show to do it, because there have been hundreds here.
The history of the beard, as they say, is a real mix of facts and fiction. Undoubtedly Scottish...
Now they should be athletic. They lower their head on the move. Underneath that dense coat there's a working dog. They have to be fit and functional.
So impressed with the herding skills of these dogs that he bought the dogs, mated them with local herding dogs, and voila, the beardie was born. 17894, the beardie.
Now we see the best of breed on our first two Belgian Shepherd dog varieties, the Laekenois.
The characteristic coat of the Laekenois Belgian Shepherd dog variety. This one, Chaparral's dogmate Bugatti Verion, owned by Jacqueline and Pete Hermans. They come from the Netherlands, handled in the ring by Jacqueline.
This variety of Belgian Shepherd dog was a favourite of Queen Henrietta of Belgium, whose royal residence, Chateau de Laekenois, near Antwerp, gave rise
And the
to
Laekenois is distinguished by its matte, slightly wavy, curly coat. Give it protection. Keen workers, they're used by the police force and by the army, and have wonderful characters, added to by that bushy eyebrow and beard.
My favourite of the varieties, this one.
Beautiful expression.
length and physical characteristics of the Belgian Shepherd dog are identical. You can see our best of breed Belgian Shepherd dog Laekenois, 18235.
It was Marie-Françoise Berton-Salat who judged.
Giselle is a Belgian Shepherd dog Malinois, Giselle Grand Goussier du Crépuscule des Loups. And despite that name, it says they come from Wales. Owned by Miss Tia Jellicoe, who's handling in the ring, but bred by Monsieur Philippe Souter.
It's not just a good farm herding dog. Across the world,
All of the four varieties of Belgian Shepherd dogs have the same standard. They should be identical apart from coat. It's the coat which distinguishes them. And this is the Malinois dense and matte coat.
the best of breed winning Malinois, 18256.
And now we move on to the Belgian Shepherd dog Tervueren. This was another variety judged today by Lowland.
And the last of our Belgian Shepherd dog varieties for tonight, Domburg Eye Candy, is a Belgian Shepherd Tervueren, owned by Linda Collins. and handled in the ring by her as well, and bred in Gloucestershire by her too.
The most popular of all the varieties is the variety most rapidly increasing in numbers within the United Kingdom.
And it's the gold or fawn coat which distinguishes this variety. They can also come in grey. Very handsome and perhaps the most popular of the varieties in the show ring. A brisk stride for all 4 varieties.
It's our best breed Belgian Shepherd Dog Tervueren 18300.
The largest numerical breed entry in tonight's pastoral group was the Border Collie.
Now, one of the most popular, the Border Collie, Eyes of the World fairy tale, named Hadas at Home, owned by Veronica Diaz-Gomez and handled by Chivanel's Paul from Belgium. Originally, this one comes from Spain.
3-6 came through. As its name suggests, the Border Collie was developed on the borders of Scotland and England, primarily for terrier skills, known especially for its outstanding
And there's the stride of the Border Collie, dropping its head on the move, lithe, athletic movement. Huge entry today. 2 judges for them.
And I was at ringside. People were going mad when Best of Breed was announced. They were so thrilled.
Sonia Jolly was the breed judge today for Brian's, and we see her Best of Breed here. This bitch was selected from an entry of 92, and her number is 18795.
The characteristic outline and coat of the Briard. Tussenfell Catch a Dream. Twinks, owned by Liz Ledsham and handled by her, bred too by her from Parkgate in the Wirral.
This is a French cattle dog, characterised by a couple of features. Double dew claws on the hind legs and a little crochet hook at the end of the tail and a dry matte coat. They have to have stamina and working ability. Typical outline there of good length.
Alan Staniland and Christine Collins were our judges.
Bubesi Belle Mystique de Cathaya is a rough collie, 7 years old, a veteran Miss Years, owned by Miss Kate Little from Berkshire, handled by Margaret Jones in the ring, and bred by Jacques and Catherine Ragueneau.
971 that was seen before us, the one through to Best of Breed. Originating in the early 19th century in the Scottish pastures, this is another.
That's a beautiful coloured blue merle.
It was popularised not only in fiction or portrayed on
And a lovely profile of that head.
The colour silver, splashed with black and rich tan markings on the face. Clean, wedge-shaped head. The coat hides a body which is functional. They used to be used as working dogs, more glamorous in the showing.
tracking, obedience and sheepdog trials. 18971, the Rough Collie.
Now we move on to the cousin of the Rough Collie, the Smooth Collie.
Very characteristic outline of the Smooth Collie, Champion Sandcastle's True Topic. Tartu is owned by Trevor and Birgit Haywood from Shropshire, handled by Trevor in the ring, and bred by Kirsi Rautanen.
Smooth Collie in lots of ways is the same as the Rough Collie, with the exception of coat.
Sharing the same standard, but of course with a smooth coat. Up until the 60s, you could breed them in the same litters. They occurred, but now there's no interbreeding allowed. Sharing the same standard and should be therefore functional. A long, clean stride, covering the greatest ground with minimum strides and holding that level, firm top line.
There's a quiet grace to these dogs as well that I adore.
Best of Breed, Smooth Collie, 19069.
Not.
Terry Munro was the judge of the Estrela Mountain Dogs today. Terry had an entry of 27.
Now, I have no information for this one come through yet because it only just scooted into the ring. This is the Estrela Mountain Dog, Pastoral Fernando. Late, but not quite too late to be judged.
Now a handsome flock guard coming from the Portugal. Sturdy and strong. A feature of it are the ears, which are neatly folded back.
a really intelligent breed.
They make very good guard dogs and good house
Very,
companions.
very much in tune and alert to its surroundings. The Estrela Mountain Dog, 19117.
Mr. Jeff Horswell was the breed judge for Finnish Lapphunds today.
Multi-champion Fidelis Jury is a Finnish Lapphund, and another one that only just managed to get here on the tips of his toes in time.
Typical Spitz breed with a wedge-shaped head, sharply pricked ears, and we'll see the tail rise when he starts to move. Used for herding reindeer. Again, that protective double coat.
And a lovely compact shape there.
Enjoys family life, especially the company of children. That's the best of breed Finnish Lapphund, 19162.
Next we see the German Shepherd Dog. Our judge, Kevin Hoyland, had 132 GSDs as they're known. He chose 19227.
Now a dog we've seen in the group here at Crufts before, the German Shepherd Dog champion Elmo von Groenendael. Elmo, 6 years old now, owned by John Cullen, handled by Stephen Cox in the ring, and bred by Herr Hans Schrever.
And this has become a very popular dog. He's won the group at Crufts before, this pastoral group at Crufts. So we'll see how he does tonight. This is his retirement show, so could he go out with a bang?
Search and rescue, narcotics, and mine detector, among others.
Now we'll see the fleeting gait of the German Shepherd Dog. He's letting him extend on a long lead. Very powerful driving quarters.
Best of breed winning German Shepherd Dog, 19227.
Just looking at the ears and expression.
Now, the table we see our best of breed Hungarian Collie. Mr. Robert Newhouse was the breed judge today.
Multi-champion cordmaker hurdy-gurdy Camilla has come all the way from Denmark to be shown here at Crufts. Belongs to Bodil Roos, Sue Hubener and Michael Laub, handled by Bodil Roos in the ring.
This corded dog, square, and underneath that corded coat, they're relatively wiry in the bone and body. There's not a lot of substance underneath them.
I bet it takes a long time for that coat to dry after a bath, though.
It also takes a long time to develop. They're born as flocks, curly flocks, and develop later. Now this is a light, brisk stride, not far-reaching. It's supposed to be light and nimble, and they could actually jump on the backs of the sheep and to herd them up, and actually that's that nimble.
Flocks of sheep since 1800. The best of breed Hungarian Collie, 19373.
This is Agatha. Agatha de la Comparisette Tormentine is a Komondor, owned by Kim Sear and Isabel Quill from Leicestershire, and handled by Kim Sear in the ring, bred by Sebastian Schmidt.
And a coat of full maturity there. Those cords develop in their natural habitat. They were used for protection against the extremes of climate and also as camouflage. These were flock guards, and this colour could hide amongst the sheep and then give those wolves a nasty shock when it came out of them. So you see it's slow, methodical gait under the mature coat.
It might look ponderous, but temperamentally a wolf wouldn't want to mess with this dog.
See the trailing tail fronds there.
19396, the Komondor.
Now on the table, we see our best of breed Lancashire Healer. Roy Baker was the breed judge today.
Nemo carries a very famous Lancashire heeler affix, champion Fox Time Oliver Cromwell. This is a veteran dog, 9 years old, owned by Jackie Cartledge and Enid Penworth Lord, handled by Jackie in the ring.
Originates from the time when cattle were herded
And this is a liver and tan, as I see now in the full light. It's thought that the breed originated through a cross of the Corgi, which drove the cattle from Wales to Manchester, where it came with a cross with the Manchester Terrier. So they've got aspects of both here, the thumb markings and face markings of the Manchester Terrier, and the lowness to ground of the Corgi for nipping at the heels of the cattle and driving them along. Great characters, this breed, I'll tell you.
Cheeky countenance that says, I might be the smallest in here, but you better pay attention to me.
Our best of breed Lancashire, 19406.
Forever sheepdogs today were judged by Tom Johnson. There are 11 here, and he chose
A little overawed there. Gelsomino di Salvaspani is a Mino at home is a Maremma owned by Anna El Brigio from Italy. And that standoffishness is actually quite characteristic of this breed, isn't it, Frank?
Yes, they are a watchful character, because of their job, of course, as flock guards. But they are extremely handsome with the dark pigmentation, the clean head and lovely outline. And you know, the temperaments are improving and becoming more socialised the more they live in civilization.
19471, the Maremma.
Now we move on to Norwegian.
All the way from Colorado, an American champion, Visions Dino of Trollheimen, Casper, owned by Brenda and Randy Solomon, handled by Deborah Peniston Fleming in the ring, and bred by the Bannons in the USA.
And these are a light, leggy dog, relatively long in the leg. They're lean and slender. Spitz type with that wedge-shaped head, prick ears, and a big support party here for this dog tonight.
I always think they look like such tidy little people, Boohans.
Very alert expression, that tail carried high over the back and that dense protective coat. Very smart outline.
19509.
Now we see the Old English Sheepdog, judged today by Patricia Bradley. There are 123 Old English. And it was 19571 that Patricia sent through to the group tonight. In Victorian times, the Old
Gina,
English
champion Ariakas Genesis at Beauvallon, has come all the way from Greece to compete here at Crufts today. Owned by Helen and Gareth Harris, bred by Nicholas, I think it's Canales, and S. Bushel.
is a good working, herding, and a guard dog too.
And a very imposing sight. The short, cobby body. Look at the rise over the loin, accentuated by the grooming there. The strong skull and foreface.
In the children's classic, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
And one of the most instantly recognisable dogs that you'll see here at Crufts, I think.
And that rolling action which comes from the barrel chest. That's a crisp, wiry coat with maturity. The markings very specific to the breed, and that big black nose. Great characters. But a breed for dedication.
Now we come to the Polish Lowland Sheepdog. Britt Marie Young and Steve Reed judged today. From an entry 51, selected this male for best of breed.
Another one slightly overawed there. Dobrani Dorian Blue Grismoa Cherville is a Polish Lowland Sheepdog, Indie, 4 years old, owned by Christine and Kevin Burnett Coates, handled in the ring by Terry Cousins Brown, who also bred this one.
In the 16th century, sailors from Gdansk.
We've just seen the Old English Sheepdog. This is in some ways a cobbier version, a smaller and cobbier version. Again, very functional. That clean stride.
Breed has a long history
Strong skull and foreface.
and other native long-coated herding dogs.
Nice performance.
The best of breed Polish Lowland Sheepdog, 19647.
There are 87 Pyrenean Mountain
Champion Gillant Sugar and Spice, Gina, is a 5-year-old Pyrenean Mountain Dog owned by Jill Pollard from Lincolnshire. She also bred this one and is handling in the ring.
way back in time and was originally used by the people of the Basque area in Spain.
Beautiful head and expression. Bear-like in head, in the strength of the skull and the eye shape, the long foreface. Good length of leg. They're quite strongly built, but should maintain an athleticism about them.
And I've actually seen these dogs in the Pyrenees in France still working. They do look exactly like sheep on a hillside, blend in with the flock.
And they should not be ponderous because they had a job of work to do. This one with Blaireau markings, slight colour on the head, ears and over the hindquarters there.
Fripon du Pic d'Espa Keltara, Fripon or Fripon, is a 2-year-old Pyrenean sheepdog owned by Pat Phillips, handled by Steve Phillips in the ring and bred by Monsieur Ganchet.
These are light and athletic, and we see them in several colours. This is the long-haired variety. They come in a short-haired variety, and in France we'll often see them shown in fronds. The coat develops into fronds, which is the method they show them in France. But light and athletic and nimble. They are excellent herding dogs.
I did see some today around the breed rings with fronds, with sort of like dreadlocks behind. My 15-year-old said they were well dench, whatever that means. Awesome, I think.
The next dog we see is the Samoyed. The Samoyed takes its name from the Samoyedic people of Siberia. So this breed is Russian by birth. There are 139 Samis as they're known.
Chianis always. Amelia is a 5-year-old Samoyed, that lovely smiling Sami face, owned by Ian and Denise Shepherd, handled by Ian in the ring. They're also the breeders.
Keeping their owners warm in the freezing temperatures of Siberia. Roald Amundsen used the Samoyed as the lead sled dog in his first expedition to the South Pole.
Very smart, the smiling Sami, the white dense coat and black pigmentation always makes it very attractive. It always looks like a laughing cavalier and striding out well, and those snowshoes they have as feet.
Consummate show dogs, aren't they, these?
This one winning its second CC, so not yet a champion, so it's a big win today.
And returning to the table, we now see our best of breed Shepherd Sheepdog. There were 2 judges of the breed today. Males were judged by Diane Bartholomew.
Sydney Eglonian Singing the Blues is a little Shetland sheepdog owned by Miss Dee Pearson, who also bred and is showing this one in the ring. They come from Stockport.
Number 20132.
This one was best of breed at Crufts last year too, so marvellous, because you know, over 200 dogs here, and to win again the second time round. Light, live, beautiful colour, that clean chiselled foreface. Many of the Shetland breeds were small because it's a small island. The Shetland pony, the Shetland sheepdog. They say they're a collie in miniature, but there are subtle differences.
Beautiful quality dog there. You can see it shining out of that coat.
Best of breed Shetland Sheepdog 20132.
So we move to Sweden now, to the Swedish Lapphund. Judged today.
Toby, champion Starvon Vanquish, is a Swedish Valhund, just 2 years old and a champion already, owned by Penny Lewis, who also handles in the ring, bred by Ada and Tim West.
And you might be forgiven that you're looking at a corgi of a strange colour, but no, they are quite different. Look at the distinguishing harness markings over the shoulders. They're also longer in the leg, higher on the leg than the corgis, more gaunt in the head and sharply pricked ears. I find them a really attractive breed. They're great characters.
Kind of a no-nonsense dog, isn't it? Looks like a more butch version of a corgi.
In many ways, a Norwegian boo hund cut short, really. It's
They really love attention, they're very,
no.
very faithful companions, loyal and affectionate.
This one getting a careful look from our group judge.
As well as we can see that they're good in the show return. 20267 for the Swedish Lapphund.
Stuart Magnus was our judged Crufts this year for Cardigan Welsh Corgi.
And this is a dog that's done some travelling, an American champion, Yashashi Telltale Dubel, what a name. Darren, I think we'll stick with. 2 years and 4 months old, owned by Lisa Croft Elliott and Paula O'Donnell, handled by Lisa in the ring, bred by Shelley Cam.
And a very impressive dog. It's brindle and white. The Cardigan Corgi is longer than its Pembroke cousin, longer in the body. Of course, it's always had a long tail. Its front legs are slightly bowed round that deep chest.
What a wonderful shot. Look at that head. This dog's decided it owns the ring.
But a very free action for a low-to-ground dog. And perfect tail carriage. It shouldn't really come up above the level of the back. That's beautiful.
That's our best breed Cardigan Welsh Corgi, 20313.
Champion Stadwen Spartacus is owned by Alan and Wendy Rees, a Welsh Corgi Pembroke, of course, handled in the ring by their daughter Amanda Rees.
Another herding farm dog originating from Pembroke in Wales. They're perhaps best known for their very close.
This one, a rich red and white.
Hens, as they're known, can be traced back.
Very alert. There's pricked ears.
Brought these dogs with them when settling in Wales.
Judge looking at the expression.
First breed club for the Thames was established in 1925 in Command.
And of course these corgis wearing tails now where they were once previously docked, the Pembrokes.
These straighter in the forelegs. They should have sufficient ground clearance to work for long hours. Bred for nipping at the heels of the cattle to drive them on. Level top line important.
The best of breed winning Pembrokeshire Welsh Corgi 20504.
Lovely corgi expression there.
The group has been joined by the Belgian Shepherd Dog, Groenendael. You see the best of breed.
Now I'm delighted to see that Zanova Wolf Walker has scooted in right at the last minute, out of breed order. This, of course, the Belgian Shepherd Dog Groenendael, the black variety. Don't have any breed information for it, I'm afraid, but glad to see it in the group.
Yes, now Judge has experience of showing this breed. He's had Tervueren in the past, very big winners, so he'll be looking at this with the specialist eye. This is the black coat. It's the only colour which this one comes in, the Groenendael. You'll see them working with the police and the army.
Each variety refers to the geographical area of origin within Belgium.
And it's actually owned by Mr. and Mrs. Streeter. They come from Sutton, Scotney in Hampshire.
226.
So we've seen all our best of breed winners now. Jeff Luscott's going to take a look and, of course, make his pick.
29 breeds in tonight's Pastoral group. Our judge, Jeff Luscott, is going to have a look at each of the dogs one more time.
So a nice walk down the line of best of breed winners. He's gone over all these dogs, now just needs to remind himself of the finer points before Jeff Luscott is going to make his first cut.
Across these 29 breeds. Don't forget there is coverage of all the action.
Jeff has been called in several times to the breeds today to be a referee. Those breeds which have two judges, and where the judges couldn't agree, Jeff has to go in and decide.
So there's already some in this group ring that he knows he likes.
Occasions. In 1928, when Best in Show Crufts was awarded. 6 occasions.
Coming towards the end of the line now.
3 of those occasions he was a German Shepherd Dog.
And now he'll make his cut. Coming back to the head of the line.
So as Mr. Luscott goes back front of the line of our Pastoral.
Now a long pause while he decides which is going to be his shortlist. Quick word with the steward on
So the first of the breeds is the
The Australian Shepherd's pulled out.
The Tervueren and the Border Collie.
On
Out
down the
comes
line. The
the
German
German
Shepherd, that'll be popular.
The Old English Sheepdog from Greece comes forward.
And the Pyrenean Mountain Dog.
And the Pyrenean Sheepdog and the Samoyed. The Shetland Sheepdog comes out too, and the Cardigan Corgi. 10. A short list of 10 here in this group.
So we have our cut. Just going back to the back of the ring to give us a bit of space to see them, and then of course these dogs will be moved again before a decision is made about who's going to take the final group before Best in Show.
So the first of our shortlisted breeds to be moved.
First to go, the Australian Shepherd, champion Allmark 5th Avenue. A very well-known combination, these two, Frank.
Top winner in the breed last year. And she was very successful with Old English Sheepdogs before she took up this breed, and she's made her mark here too. Beautiful, strong rear drive from those hindquarters.
And what a super performance. That dog looks in absolutely perfect bloom.
You can see why they've become such popular show dogs and top winners all over Europe.
Here goes the Belgian Shepherd dog Tervueren. This one, UKC champion Donberg Eye Candy.
Again, you'll find that the brisk stride is not as far-reaching in these, but still accurate.
Very characteristic too, isn't it?
Very alert, brisk.
The Border Collie, such a popular dog. Eyes of the World fairy tale. Hadas, owned by Veronica Diaz Gomez from Spain.
And this was a referee job in the breed. The two judges couldn't agree, so Jeff was brought in. Look at that. Look at her dropping her head here. Absolute typical Border Collie gait.
We're going to hear a roar next. The German Shepherd dog, champion Elmo vom Hoenigan. Controlled up and down on a shorter leash, but when we go round the ring in a minute, I know handler Stephen Cox will let him have his head and show his side gate.
And it's important that he keeps him collected when he lets him arb. You see, the dog gets excited with the applause.
Here he goes, though.
That long, clean stride.
Now goes the unmistakable Old English Sheepdog. 19571.
Now champion Andreas Genesis from Greece.
A different sort of stride here, slight roll to the movement of the bobtail. But again, we want this straight movement coming towards you.
Her breeder, Nicolas Canales, handling in the ring, trying to pace himself perfectly to show her movement to the best.
That's the Old English Sheepdog. 19571.
The Pyrenean Mountain Dog.
The grace and nobility of the Pyrenean Mountain Dog. Champion, Gallandant Sugar and Spice, Gina.
And from a famous kennel in Lincolnshire, they've had a lot of top winners. And there that tail comes up and makes a wheel at its highest point when the dog is alert, lifting it above the level of the back. And looking devotedly up at its owner.
The little Pyrenean Sheepdog, surely one of the rarest of the breeds in this final cut. Fripone du Pic d'Espanade Caltara.
And a lovely specimen, beautiful size, athletic and a very nice temperament for the breed, very collected.
Watchful and yet positive.
A good description for this one.
Now we see the choice of Mark Ross, the Samoyed.
The smiling Sammy, the Samoyed. Shiani's always Amelia. Ian Shepherd handling in the ring. Bred this one with wife Denise.
And a great victory. Not yet a champion, but well on its way in there now after this big win.
Now off goes the Shetland Sheepdog. 201.
The turn of the little Shetland Sheepdog. Eglonian singing the blues, Sydney.
And the handler taking this at just the right stride, keeping its composure and balance and clean stride.
Lovely shot of the head there. And finally the little cardigan corgi, American champion Yasashikuma Telltale de Belder.
And again, just seeing the front action, those legs wrapped round the fore chest, which is correct. There's no loose elbows there.
Lisa Croft Elliott handling this one, bred by Shelley Cam.
Very composed performance.
I love the way they use their ears.
Laid back on the move, they'll prick them up when they're alert.
So as the cardigan corgi takes the rear of the line, Jeff Luscott having another look at his lineup.
It's time for Mr. Luscott to have another look along the line. He makes an all-important decision.
So who's it going to be? He's going down the line. Looks like he's made up his mind. That's a very purposeful walk back towards the boards.
Where's your money, Jessica?
I'm not going to open my mouth, not at this stage. Who's going to be the last of our group winners? Marching purposely, it's going to be the Australian Shepherd. The Australian Shepherd takes the group, the final group of the evening. Champion Allmark 5th Avenue takes the group.
And another blue merle, the Shetland Sheepdog, takes the reserve spot.
Into third, the German Shepherd. And fourth, the ever-popular Old English Sheepdog. But we have our group winner, the Australian Shepherd champion Allmark 5th Avenue with Angie Allen. Many congratulations. We've got our final 7.
This is Rosemary Hall, escorted into the ring by Anne McDonald.
So presentation time now. Angie, hugely experienced handler, and yet nonetheless with a grin as broad as a slice of melon.
Assisted the legendary voice of Crufts, Mr. Bernard Hall.
So let's hear it one more time for the winner of the Pastoral Group, Crufts 2013, the Australian Shepherd, and the big
Handshake from the judge. Yet another large rosette to add to the collection. And there's Jackie giving a lovely big kiss to her group winner.
So, as our judge congratulates these last 4, and the rosette is presented.
The little Shetland Sheepdog in second, German Shepherd third, and the Old English in fourth. But a lap of honour for our final group winner, the Australian Shepherd, champion Allmark 5th Avenue. Very little time to rest for them, of course. Best in show coming up shortly.
There will be a short intermission before we continue with the
So we've got the last of our group winners. We're all excited to see Best in Show later on this evening. But first, let's hear from Victoria Pendleton.
Well done.